Every year, 18 million lives are lost to heart diseases, and at least 75% of these occur in lower income countries like Pakistan. This shouldn't be happening because there is a really simple solution. Patients just need repeat care, but under the current model, this means frequent hospital visits, so patients lose time, wages, and savings while only gaining stress. As a result, patients just decide they'll forego their care, so unfortunately their conditions worsen. And we can't just let this continue to happen. So at Sukoon, we're solving the pain points that patients face through home-based cardiac rehab. We send a nurse to the patient's home, and we equip that nurse with our web app. And our web app personalizes the treatment plan and guides the nurse so they don't need to be a specialist. Healthcare professionals love this idea, so much so that we have research contracts with 3 hospitals and agreements from 4 cardiologists to refer patients to us. Additionally, we're in talks with a healthcare marketplace to list our service, and we're getting ready to pilot with one of Pakistan's premier hospitals, Indus. Our team to date has raised £17,000 through competitions and spots on 7 incubators and accelerators. Janine and I, the co-founding team, trained as life scientists at Imperial and have complementary backgrounds in business and healthcare, having worked in business development and pharmacovigilance. We're supported also by a core team of 2 doctors and a healthcare management graduate, as well as an advisory panel with expertise in cardiology, business, and healthcare. We believe there is no team better placed than us to solve this problem, and we're already making progress to positively impact the lives of the 18 million patients in Pakistan. Thank you.
Judges, can you talk to us a little about the business model?
Yeah.
How does it work? How much does it cost? Who's your customer? Is it insurance company? How does all that work?
So we're currently testing a lot of different routes to market at the moment, and we're trying to nail the right one. So to start with, we're going directly to those patients, and we're engaging with them in person and then also online. Additionally, we've also got those referral pathways with cardiologists, which we've tested out, and we're continuing to test as advised by our advisory panel. So to answer the other part of your question, in terms of who's paying, it's the patient. So in Pakistan, it's very much a payer-based model, and we're charging those patients 2,000 rupees, which is about I think it's about £7.80, but like both currencies, both the UK and in Pakistan, slight bit of volatility in the in the markets at the minute. But that's kind of about 2 to 3 cups of tea is what they're paying per session, and we offer them 7 sessions of cardiac rehab before they complete the program, and they're kind of ready to independently manage their own conditions.
Sorry, just build it. Are you the employer of all of the nurses, or are you a marketplace matching?
So to start with, we've actually contracted a nursing agency in Karachi, where our beachhead market is, to supply us with the nurses, because it doesn't make sense for us to hire those nurses directly until we reach about 50 sessions of cardiac rehab every month.
Does any technology like this exist elsewhere in the world?
So actually in kind of the UK and then also across the pond in the States, there have been kind of attempts to have a web app or some kind of app that they put directly in patients' hands. In the US, those attempts have kind of failed, sadly. And then in the UK, it's very much driven by the NHS, and we've spoken also with some research groups based in the UK around kind of what they've learned and how to, I suppose, better design our web app. But kind of the market over in developing countries is very different to what we have here, where we have kind of a more tech-savvy population, and we're targeting kind of the middle-aged group who aren't as confident on their phones. So to remove that stress of having to learn how to use a new application, we give it to the nurse, we train the nurse, and that nurse kind of is well-versed in how to interact with patients, and patients do value that in-person interaction with patients.
Thank you very much. Is there anything unique to the cardiology program, or do you think there are multiple kind of this model can stretch into kind of multiple rehabilitation opportunities?
Yes, it could definitely stretch into other areas. We're starting with cardiology simply because it's the greatest burden of disease. It's the biggest market, it's the biggest place where we can have the most impact.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience got a question?
Okay.
Hi, I'm just interested what the kind of customer feedback is versus, because I know there's a lot of pain points in actually traveling to hospitals. How are you finding the feedback from the patients that are using that service and interacting with your nurses?
So far, the patients who we've kind of delivered a session to have responded positively. They enjoy the fact that they can just get it in the comfort of their home, very much so. And kind of actually what they've noticed the most is that they just feel increased confidence in their own ability to understand their condition and then also then take care of themselves. And then we've also run a study with those hospitals that I mentioned. We've interviewed 199 patients in total, and basically I think it's close to 70 to 80% of them will cite either waiting or traveling as those problems that they don't want to go to the hospital. And if you think about it, like those are the patients who actually did bother to go to the hospital. We're missing out in our sample all those people who just didn't bother because they were like, travel and wait, too much of a headache.